Welcome to the 192nd broadcast of the T-ROH show. This is your host, Keith. We've got a little bit of a few things to talk about that we have published in the newspaper. I think that it bears going through and explaining a little bit more as we go through it. So we'll get a move on here. The 192nd broadcast of the T-ROH show. Okay. Here's the General Post Office of the Government of the United States of America extends immunity to Kenosha, Wisconsin police officers. And everybody says, well, why are you guys doing that? Sometimes, they'll say this. This is where the one where the guy was, apparently they shot him in the back 7 times. It says, as it pertains, extends immunity to the Kenosha, Wisconsin police officers as it pertains to the Jacob Blake case. All right, Rustin Shesky, Vincent Arenas, and Brittany Marinek. I might have butchered those names, but together and separately hereby have full immunity from any prosecution as it pertains to the Jacob Blake case. Now, we all complain that the police are corrupt. Everybody does. But when they do something right, that's even worse. So we got to stop that. So what I see here is a warrant was issued. All right, you had an injured party. Mr. Blake, Jacob Blake, apparently has been harassing this woman. He had a restraining order against her, or she had a restraining order against him. Apparently, in some of this, he had sexually assaulted her and accused her of that night or that day, and accused her of fooling around, being with other men. Apparently, he raped her like 2 times this year. And there's a restraining order. There's, obvious problems here and there, and so he's violating a restraining order with his 3 children in the truck. That's called stupid. So just go there. That's just stupid. You don't do that. You don't violate the restraining order. You don't sexually assault the girlfriend or the ex-wife. I don't know what what the relationship was. There was a verified complaint that was in existence. Okay, meaning she went in and made a complaint. She had her initials in there, but that was it. There was an injured party. All right, an injured party was present, and Blake was obligated to cooperate. He didn't have the right to run. He didn't have the right to go grab a knife. He didn't have the right to do anything that he did. So if the cop shot him 7 times in the back, I think the most that should happen to the cop, is maybe an excessive force complaint. What do you think, Tom? Maybe excessive force? Maybe.
Well, wasn't he trying to climb into the vehicle at that point?
To get a gun or to get a knife.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, so he was going for a weapon. I mean, what did they think he was going to do? Just kind of run with it, like running with scissors?
Right? Well, you don't run with a knife in your hand.
No, that just screams, I'm going to kill you. I mean,
yeah. So they shoot him in the back, and I'm thinking, maybe 2 or 3 times you could shoot him, get him in the legs, and whatever. But that's a split-second decision, because what Jacob Blake should have said was, "Do you have a warrant?" "Yes, we do. It's signed right here, and we have a verified complaint, and it was done under oath, and the injured party was involved, and you're violating an order here." And now she's called us and said that you sexually assaulted her again. He should have put his hands behind his back, asked them to find some place to put his children, help him with that, which I'm pretty sure they might have done. It didn't look like they were abusing him or beating on him. The guy was running around a car and got shot for going after a knife. I got an idea. Don't run around the car and go for a knife, then you won't get shot. How about that?
Well, that right there proved intent. I mean, if he's going to reach for a weapon of any kind, he's proven intent that he's intending to do something with it. So, I mean, that's just an aggressive maneuver either way you look at it.
Right, and the cop had a hold of his T-shirt, and he was trying to hold him back, and stop him. So, Jacob, stop. Well, too late now. And the one thing that I'm thinking is that if he's a paraplegic, at least um, he won't be sexually assaulting another woman, will he?
No, I don't think so. I think that'd be a very hard task at that point.
That's all I'm saying. Sometimes there's poetic justice in this world.
Some things tend to work out really well.
Yeah. All right, in other news, we got 3 enlisted and non-commissioned officers in the Continental Army was granted the rank of captain within the United States of America Continental Army. These 3 men here, George, Jeffrey, and Marlowe, so they'd be Captain George, that would be Captain Sorensen, Captain Thomason, and Captain Jones. And they will head up our War Crimes Tribunal. Okie dokie, so we've got that. Those 2 things were done. Now, of course, the rebellious lawyers. What the rebellious lawyers are going to do is they don't have any this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 until they get a call from upstairs. That's what will happen. They'll get a call from upstairs, and they go, well, you can't really try those guys. Well, we'll do an illusion of a trial. Whatever they do, whatever crap that they do. All right. That's usually what happens in these cases. Okay, here's I get these emails from, I don't know who this is, Snoop for Truth. Okay, and they've never given me a name. I have no idea who they are, but sometimes they have good stuff, but they send it directly to my email. And boy, they really don't like Rod Class and some others. They really don't. But they went after David Lester Straight, recommends using his form affidavit to renounce U.S. citizenship so as to avoid application of U.S. laws, U.S. tax obligations, and U.S. financial obligations. Straight does not know that his affidavit alone will not work to renounce U.S. citizenship. It would not operate to absolve a person of U.S. law, U.S. tax obligations, or U.S. financial obligations, even if it did work to renounce U.S. citizenship. Okay, now it says apparently it's an NRE USCA. I have no idea who those parties are. Apparently it was done in 2017. It says the AFANT's attempt to unilaterally declare himself free of citizenship and its responsibilities was ineffective. He cannot continue to reside here in the United States and continue to enjoy benefits of citizenship while simultaneously claiming he is not a U.S. citizen. Now, Tom, can you tell me where there's a benefit of U.S. citizenship? Just where's that? What do we get the benefit of trying to do? People get the benefit as a U.S. citizen of having to pay a $31 trillion bill, or give a free credit card to 2 527 organizations called Republicans and Democrats, where when they write up shit and borrow credit from the Federal Reserve, what are you? I guess do you get the benefit of being able to pay for that as a U.S. citizen? I don't know. When I mean you, I don't mean you personally. I'm just talking about anybody that claims to be a U.S. citizen.
No, I get that question all the time when people ask about that whole thing. What are the benefits over here?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What kind of benefits are you getting over there?
Yeah, it's like, well, you're free to do what? Pay for somebody else's hairstyles, salon bill? Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, it's ridiculous. There's no benefit in that.
Well, it's weird because they consider benefits like, okay, let's say you do your service time or whatever, right? And you get a pension from that. They call that a benefit, but it's not really a benefit because, you put your time into it, you put your life on the line and everything else. But that's not the same as like what they're.
Well, you go to war, you get paid in paper.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So it just dawned on me. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a bunch of paper that costs us about 20 cents, and here you go.
Not even.
Or maybe some digital thing that costs us $1,000 or something to hold your digits. But anyway, so setting forth the ways a citizen may renounce citizenship. Okay. Now, an affidavit purporting to renounce citizenship is not effective under 8 U.S.C. 1481 because, among other things, the threshold requirement under these procedures is that a citizen be outside the borders of the United States in order for his renunciation to take effect. Now, keep in mind, folks, that the United States never claimed any borders. It'd be in their Constitution if they did, but they never did. No borders. Simply, it exists on paper, and that's it. Okay? They don't even claim seaward boundaries. Nowhere. All right? So here's Duncan versus Department of State. Da, 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 da. You know, people like to give us this stuff, references. I wouldn't really even have a clue where to find that. But further, the law applies exactly the same to citizens as non-citizens, state citizens, and non-state citizens. U.S. citizens or non-U.S. citizens, legal aliens and illegal aliens. Statuses change nothing whatsoever. Travelstate.gov puts it this way. Persons who wish to renounce U.S. citizenship should be aware of the fact that renunciation of U.S. citizenship may not have no effect on their U.S. tax. They always go to the tax thing, right? So we know one thing right here, okay, is that this country or this world right now that people are living in, I don't even want to say this country, is being run by an internal revenue trust that's offshore. Not even in the country, not even within the states at all. It's offshore. And this is what they're talking about. When they talk about U.S. tax obligations, they're talking about Internal Revenue Service. And we're going to show you why they're actually saying it the way they're saying it. It says military service obligations because you have the three city-state empire and the military is over here, is within city of Washington, one of the three stars, okay? Contact the Internal Revenue Service or U.S. Selective Service for more information. Why would you have to contact them? This has to do with citizenship, not taxes. Or is that what they're talking about? In other words, there's no place to renounce anything because the only thing that's running anything is the Internal Revenue Service and the military. Okay? So in addition, the act of renouncing U.S. citizenship does not allow persons to avoid possible prosecution for crimes which they may have committed or may commit in the future, which violate U.S. law. That is so illegal. All right, or escape the repayment of financial obligations. This tell you this is bankers, man. This is what they do, including child support payments previously incurred in the United States or incurred as U.S. citizens, United States citizens abroad. Okay. Now we've got a challenge here. All right. There's no advantage to attempting to renounce U.S. citizenship whatsoever, which means you're a prisoner. They just raised the gigantic wall. But it's a prison for your mind. Okay?
And there's your slavery.
That's your slavery, yeah. And they're imprisoning your brain. You can't get out of anything. Even if you did renounce that, you still can't get out. We can still get you. We can still reach you. There is nothing you can do. I will know what you're doing. I will watch your every move, and you can never get away from me. What does that sound like to you? That sounds like a kidnapper, doesn't it? That sounds like somebody who kidnapped a child at 9 years old and enslaved them in his or her home. I will find you. I will do this. You will never get away from me. Blah 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 blah. Right? That's pretty much what it looks like. I want to show you why. The government of the United States of America maintains, in the face of the aforementioned argument, that U.S. citizenship has never legally existed, ever. Does not exist. There's no way it can exist. And the following evidence doc from 1790, we just started there. It has been amended. Their so-called, let's put in quotations here. I know y'all can't see me doing that, but that's what I'm doing. The quotations of citizenship within the United States, which never had their meets and bounds in the document that they signed, by the way. The 1790, the status simply reads citizen of the United States. Okay, folks, you can't change this to United States citizens. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as United States citizen because it's not in the Constitution. If it's not in the Constitution itself does not recognize it. It's a big deal. Okay, and that's right here. If you just go in here, it says citizen of the United States or citizens of the United States. It's right here. It's right in this. This is an act. It was in 1790. Now let's go again. The 14th Amendment reads, citizens of the United States. There's no such thing as United States citizen there. None. It doesn't exist. It has to be in the same style. Go ahead.
They don't even call it a United States citizen anymore. They just call it U.S. citizen.
Yeah, they just went to that. And there's no such thing as a U.S. citizen in any documents in the whole country, other than lawyers' documents, which is foreign. Remember, they're under City of London.
Wait a minute. That is also on the IRS trust. When you do an IRS document,
are you a U.S. citizen, right?
Are you a U.S. citizen? Yeah.
They don't say anything about citizen of the United States. Okay, so that's the 14th Amendment there. So people keep saying, well, you're getting me under 14th Amendment citizenship and all that stuff, right? Well, you don't have an oath and affirmation. You don't have, you don't have anything to it. So you're really not a part of it anyways. Here's another one. This is a House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year. Electors and shall state and how qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature. No person shall be a representative who shall have not attained the age of 25 years and been 7 years a citizen of the United States. Okay? That's the Constitution there too. That's their Constitution. We're not talking about ours. Ours is the Articles of Confederation, but and we've amended it and all that stuff. Okay, so there's it. There's no evidence that U.S. citizenship exists. So why would I renounce something that never existed? Prove me to me it exists, and then we'll talk. Okay? So where did the title U.S. citizen status come from, and why is it so important to call it a U.S. citizenship? Why not just call it citizen of the United States? That's a rhetorical question. I have no idea. Do you know the answer to that crap, other than IRS forms?
Well, passport.
That too, but still, you know.
I'm just driver's license, passport, IRS forms.
Okay, so your whole existence is reliant on passport.
Something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, driver's license, which internationally a driver's license is what is known as a de facto driver's license. That's not me saying it. That's everybody else saying it. They call it's a de facto identification. I remember that. I read that. So I'm thinking, so you really don't have any real identification. You have a passport that says you're a U.S. citizen that doesn't exist anywhere. No constitution exists or anything. And you can't use your birth certificate as an identification that you were born in the States. Which I think would make you a citizen of the United States, doesn't it?
But if you go to court, you don't have to have ID.
Yeah, there you go. All right, who knows? Because there's no such body politic as U.S. Congress. Anybody ever watch that or even notice that? It's Congress of the United States in their Constitution. Okay, U.S. Senate, no, it's Senate of the United States. All right, nor U.S. House of Representatives, nor any constitution in existence that established the aforementioned body politic. This means there is no federal law in existence that pertains to anyone at the moment unless the matter is settled. Got to settle who your subjects are. You got to settle who your citizens are. You have to settle all these things. Notice, folks, that nobody's settling it. No one is settling this issue. They're just going on like and that's called arbitrary. Arbitrary, Article 9, UDHR, arbitrary arrest, detention, and exile. Arrest, detention, and exile. There was a reason why they put those three words in there. Why are the inhabitants trying to renounce something that does not exist by any constitution in existence in the entire world? Where is our U.S. citizen card to prove our status? Why don't I have a nationality card or some crap? I'm not even given a certificate, man. I'm not even worth that, am I? It's because it doesn't exist. Where do we take an oath or affirmation to obtain the status of U.S. citizen, and where's its constitution? All right. And then we have bozos, like we have some federal employees that even do this. We have asked around, and some people claim that U.S. citizen and citizen of the United States are interchangeable. However, that would be considered hearsay. You can't change a status in the middle of a status. You can't make them interchangeable. It's either a citizen of the United States or it's nothing. That's it. People that come over to naturalize, they're naturalized. They're told they're citizens of the United States, but in essence, they're not, because on their documents it says U.S. citizen or United States citizen. Now, every attorney in existence knows that terms and styles are extremely important when it comes to the intent and suing the responsible party. Go and ask around. Says the clerks of the counties claim there is no such oath or affirmation in existence to take as a U.S. citizen. They won't even let you do it because they don't have one. A birth certificate cannot be used as an identification document to obtain a state ID card, so the birth certificate is not evidence of U.S. citizenship. The 14th Amendment is not evidence of U.S. citizenship. Voter registration means that a person registered with a 527 organization, private company, so voter registration is not evidence of U.S. citizenship. Status is nothing to take lightly, and the government of the United States of America has already challenged the U.S. on the legitimacy of the existence as a country and has remained silent in the matter and currently in default. So the U.S., we challenged them. We went 90 days, and they're in default. Just check the link. And then when I say check the link, everybody's going to go check it, right? Go to continentalfreepress.news, okay, and then go to the top affidavit renouncing U.S. citizenship. It's right on the front page. Okay. So, third-party beneficiary. Even in a contract, folks, lawyers can't claim direct benefit nor obligation if the third party was never involved in the original contract. The legal definition only reads the third party may have rights. That's it. Do they not call it a benefit? They call it a benefit, don't they, Tom? Well, you might not get the benefit of being a U.S. citizen.
You might not get benefits.
And deal with our abuse in the courts and all these things if you piss us off.
But you don't need ID when you come in.
Right. When you come to the city of London within our courts, protected by the commander-in-chief here.
Yes, as displayed by the gold fringe flag of the court.
And it says here, a third-party beneficiary is a person or business that benefits from the terms of a contract made between two other parties. Okay, now a third-party beneficiary is this. Say you're going to have a Walmart come in to your town, and you're a businessman, so you're thinking, hey, it's pretty dirty around here. People may want to wash their cars. So Walmart's making a deal. In the meantime, they're making a deal with the city council and all that to come into your town. Now, this guy builds, he knows where the site is. He knows where the land is. So next door, he buys a piece of property and puts a car wash over there. So he's thinking, hey, people can come into my car wash on Saturday. I'll be making a buttload of cash. Thousands of people going through my car wash. Okay? Now, if the two parties, Walmart and the city council, make no deal, can the guy who built the car wash come back and sue said parties? No, because he's a third-party beneficiary. So the U.S., United States, and the Federal Reserve, Bank of New York Mellon, Federal Reserve, the federal company borrows credit from the Federal Reserve. Now, if the U.S. company, now, are you involved in that contract? Tom, did you ever sign any loan form or anything on behalf of the U.S. company or the United States at all?
No, I have no agreement with them at all.
Okay, so then you would be what they call a third-party beneficiary. How can you be if you're a third-party beneficiary, how can you be responsible for a debt that you never signed for? And then they come back and say, oh, those were your representatives that signed for that. Oh, okay. So you're saying that a representative signed has a free freaking credit card.
You mean like Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah. They have a open-ended credit card that 330 million people have to pay for. Open-ended credit card. Now, who did that? Just curious, by the way. Why would, okay, if you won't give your neighbor your credit card and pay for what your neighbor has been charging up on that credit card, then why would you give it to a bunch of corrupt asswipes? Seriously. Why would anybody even imagine that that unconscionable contract could even exist and then call it a benefit? Makes no sense whatsoever. Because,
Yeah, I'm pretty befuddled about that.
yeah, you're talking about two 527 organizations, which are private corporations, using the title, in quotations, of senator. You're not a real senator. You're just using that title. It's a title of nobility because didn't these two 527 organizations vote themselves immunity from anything they pass?
Yes, they did.
And then they also voted themselves immune from insider trading. So they can trade, insider trade all they want, make millions.
So now you wonder who's really getting the benefit out of this.
Right. And so lawyers come back and say, oh, wait a minute. Yes, you have the worst freaking position you could in this so-called third-party beneficiary position, but that's okay. We're not going to let you go because you're going to pay it. You're going to work for us. That's not, folks, that's not a government. That's a mafia. That's what that is. It's mafia. These guys are thugs that you hired to shoot other people. That's what you did. Because you didn't want to take the responsibility for yourself or on yourselves to do it. That's why you're not out there protecting the police in the middle of a riot. You're sitting at home as you hired these guys to go out and do it for you. So you hired the mafia to do your thing. They're sticking you with a bill. So imagine the whole country turned into a slave camp, and it's called a debtor's prison or a debtor's camp. That's what the lawyers have turned it into. Okay, so then it says here, in law, a third-party beneficiary may have certain rights. It means it doesn't have it. It doesn't mean you have any. Just you might have some. Someone is playing a very cruel trick on the inhabitants and has kidnapped about 330 million persons, and no one seems to notice. No one even asked, hey, where'd U.S. citizen come from? Well, it's the same as the citizens of the United States. Okay, prove that. There's two different terms. Two
Well,
different
that's the same
terms.
thing they say about the name of the country. They say it's the United States, it's the U.S., it's
Yeah.
United States of America, the United States of America. Nobody really knows. They just like it's like calling France Frank or Germany German.
Yeah, you got France is France. It doesn't change, right? They don't have
Exactly.
they don't
It
have different
doesn't.
names.
No, if you're gonna call it by something, call it by its real name.
Yeah, you have Uganda. Hey, everybody knows. Brazil. There it is. Everybody
You
knows
don't
where
shorten
Brazil
those
is or
names.
Mexico.
Yeah.
You don't have the Mexico of the United States and this and that and blah 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 in 5 different names.
Mm-mm.
So, which causes a lot of confusion. Let's clear up that confusion now. So this is not your country, government, American government, nor country. Message to Pope Francis through Pope Francis' private attorney. All right, this is the last thing we're going to cover today. And who's this private attorney? Oh, here we go. Here's Wilhelmina. That's his private. There you go. Everybody always asks for this. I don't know why they do this. Where did she say she was a private attorney for the Pope Francis? There you go. It's right here. Same bogus freaking PO box. It's forwarded. That mail is forwarded, by the way. She's doesn't pick up her own mail. Get it? 10th of May, June 2014. It was under some BS domestic plea. I don't know what the hell it was. Oh, I said the common law grand jury. There it was. It's on a judicial notice. So why would you, under a common law grand jury, why would you hire the private attorney of Pope Francis, even though that's a foreigner? Would everybody ever figure that out? I don't know why they would do that. All right, so in red, so here we go. This is what was written. Inhabitants are being told the following is your American government, and blah, 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 right? Okay. And this is your country and still is yours. So obviously she came in and now she's using country, okay? Because we used country last week. When we said country and we knew what it was, now she's using country. All right. Everything we do, she steals. Everything. Doesn't matter what it is. If we said a crap burger, she would be using crap burger next week. She copies everything we do because she is so jealous and so envious of us. She wants to be us. So everything we do, the woman has completely lost her own identity. She just copies everything we do. So here it is. All right, now this was all garbage here, and I'm going to show you the difference here in a minute, and I answer each one of these questions. The Vatican private attorney is writing this garbage. That is writing this garbage is attempting to resurvey all of these entities, wherein the Vatican private attorney that wrote it is not a party to any of it. She's not a party to anything. She can't come in, doesn't have the authority to come in and rewrite and survey a whole country and arrange it the way that she wants to. Okay, that's it. She doesn't have that right. It never existed, never will. It'd be like us going over to England and say, okay, you guys are no longer a monarchy. This is this, this is this, and this is this. And they're going to say, well, what authority do you have? Well, I'm me. That's it. That's what she does. Zero authority whatsoever because the Pope doesn't have zero authority over here. All right. We say country, and then the Vatican private attorney says country. We say states of the Union. We're the ones that reestablished those damn things. And the Vatican private attorney says states of the Union. So we could say whatever we want next week. She'll say it over there. She's like our puppet, man. We just tell her what to do. Reality is this. This is the Vatican private attorney really has no clue how the country is formed and surveyed. She doesn't do any study. She doesn't do any work. No work on her own. All the Vatican private attorney is doing is trying to push the people that do know the answers. So the Vatican private attorney masters. That means the Pope can extract more information to try to find a hole for the eventual attack. So what he's doing is he's poking the fence. He's trying to find a hole in our claim. Well, guess what? You guys have been trying that for 6 years. You haven't found one. It's time for y'all to quit. Okay? And move over to what we call negotiation. Because you damn well are not going to take it over. You're never going to get it legitimately. It is never going to happen. Not as long as everyone that's involved is alive. You're going to have to murder thousands of people in order to get it, to get your new world order. And the funny thing is you don't even know who you have to murder. You don't even have that list. Okay? Now, answers in blue and lies in red. Okay, so that's this is the lie, and then this would be the truth. Now, the Union doing business as the United States. No, not even close. Okay, there are two separate unions. One is spelled Union 1774 to present. Okay, that was done in 1774 to present with the uppercase U. That's what they did. Now, the second union is spelled like this. It's lowercase u. That was the constitutional one. When that Constitution of 1789 reared its ugly head, okay? In all lowercase letters presently under a federation. Now, here's the funny part. What the private attorney is doing is she's trying to bring the United States of America under a federation that's already here now because she doesn't know the definition of a federation. She thinks that she's trying to bring the United States of America, upper lowercase d, this one right here, under the Constitution of the United States. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You can't just pick and choose what you want and put things where you think they ought to be. It doesn't work that way. That's called rearranging the chain of title, and what happens is when you do that is that you have nothing more than a salad bowl of crap. Okay? And it smells. So, the Federation doing business as the United States of America. No. This is what she wrote. False. The Federation does business as the United States of America. Lowercase t, folks. Okay? The United States of America is a confederation, which is a federal republic, reformed on August 5th, 2015. Two separate timelines, which, by the way, we tried to sell twice and give away once, and nobody wanted it until they figured out what we had, until we revamped it into something that actually works.
And
Then
that's
it
why
when it had
Anna wants it so bad.
What's that?
And that's why Anna wants it so bad.
Yeah, because she can't do anything. She doesn't know what she's doing, and she never will. That takes 20, 30 years of study to know what you're doing in this, okay? She hasn't even done 1 day of study. She never sat down and read anything, okay? So, and I can tell that real quick. It's easy. And she wants it so bad, and that's why, because it's worth something. It's called jealousy, folks. This woman is, what you call that? Anal retentive control freak. Can't shut up for 30 days, man. Cannot shut up. Always out there trying to give orders, trying to demand something. Always orders, demand, orders, demand. Screw yourself. Screw you and your orders. Nobody gives a shit. Okay? Everybody's tired of listening to it. All right, two separate timelines. This means that one started at one point, another started at another point, and that moved forward on each point. Okay, that's a timeline. The Confederation doing business as States of America. Completely false. Where did the States of America come from, Tom? Where was that Constitution?
I don't remember ever seeing that.
It doesn't exist.
Or even the charter. I didn't see a charter for it either.
No, nothing. Doesn't exist anywhere.
No charter, no constitution, no validity whatsoever.
Right, now this
and no
is...
links. No
Oh,
links to anything she does either. I'm sorry.
No.
Man.
Where did that document come from? Put a link up every once in a while. You know?
Yeah, she just babbles and never shows any links to anything or any kind of proof to anything she's saying. She just speaks arbitrarily about everything.
Yep. And we're going to put links in here. We're going to show you all this stuff. All right. Now, it's and we've been talking about it in the T-ROH show for the 192 friggin' episodes or broadcasts. Now, the Confederation was doing business as what? The United States of America. It says it right in the document. The style of it was the United States of America. It never did business as States of America. Go look at the original Articles of Confederation. We didn't change it. It's still the United States of America. But you know what? Someone missed the boat. And man, do they want that country so bad, because why? I'm the hero. Okay. I want to be a hero. All right. Completely false. Why is it completely false? Because I just showed you. Now, your government has power sharing agreements. No, it doesn't. And service contracts called constitutions. They're not service contracts. That's not what they are. She's redefining everyone's constitution in the world.
Yeah, but without definition, because there's no definition behind it.
No, zero. This is something to make, okay, she's got to come up with something that makes her look intelligent, folks, in order for you to follow her. Okay, so it sounds like it's secret knowledge and crap, but if you fall for that, man, I got some land up there at the bottom of Lake Michigan to sell you. It's only $10,000 an acre, okay? Now, with these following subcontractors, this is where she starts the whole pyramid thing. And you, if you join her, will be superior over all. That's how she does it. And that's called feeding the ego. And if your ego is easily fed and you fall for that, you are easily deceived, because you're doing nothing but deceiving yourself. The rest is easy for them that are deceiving you. All right? Now, which function as a federal government? False, completely made up to confuse. This is not even true. They're not service contracts called constitutions. Why? We just showed you in the last publication, they don't even use citizen of the United States. How are they using the Constitution for some kind of service contract? They don't have any citizens there called citizens of the United States. There's nobody's a party to it. Just because somebody says it doesn't mean it's true. Just because Trump says he's the president of the United States does not mean it's true. Because there's no U.S. Congress. There's only a Congress of the United States. U.S. Congress doesn't exist. We keep trying to tell people that, but it kind of falls on deaf ears. Oh, it's too much for me to deal with. The U.S. federal government. Okay. Wait a minute. It says function as a federal government. She says the U.S. federal government. I know what that is. That's the United States means a federal corporation. It's not a U.S. federal government. They're just doing business. No, it's not even close. Here's the link for that, by the way. You can go look at it. The Federal Republic, American absent since 1860. No, the Federal Republic, according to the Law of Nations, which we've talked about before, is in the Law of Nations, existed between 1781. It was in transition during the Revolutionary War because nobody knew when it was going to end and who would win. And then it was done in 1781 through 1789. That was your Federal Republic, according to under a confederation. The Federal Republic was stuck in committee under the Articles of Confederation in 1781 until 2010, until it was claimed. The United States. Remember, okay, now they're starting to use this because we taught them that this makes a difference. See, this is what we know. We taught them this. Now they're going to use that knowledge because they're so brilliant and not respect the people that actually showed this to them. And then they're going to use it. And they're just disrespectful people is all they are. They have no respect for people that literally have been helping them just by us coming on the T-ROH and putting things in the newspaper to teach people is what we're doing. They use that knowledge to try to grab it for themselves, not realizing it's for everyone, except for those that are fugitives and vagabonds. Start following the law. What you're dealing with is a bunch of people that just didn't want to follow the law. They don't want to go by the rules. That's that whole camp right there. Okay? The United States of America, British territorial government. No, it's not even close. Not even close. False. Agent for the United States. Go look it up. The United States, papist municipal government. No. That's a false. It's called the Constitution of the United States. Papist municipal government. How did it turn it? Oh, you think that so they thought that the District of Columbia created a municipality in 1860, and therefore you became a citizen of the District of Columbia. When we're trying to tell you you're not a citizen of anything. Show me that U.S. citizen exists. I mean, think about it. It doesn't exist. So this is bullshit right here. They pair up under the power sharing agreements like this. Okay, here's this false. There's no power sharing agreements in existence. The United States Union partners with the United States Municipal. False, see above. Okay, because there's no such thing as a union as it pertains this union as it pertains to the United States. That's why this is false. The United States of America Federation, no such thing, never existed because that would be a political thing, not a federal republic, which was a confederation. Partners with the United States of America territorial. No, the United States of America, that Constitution doesn't have any metes and bounds in it. See, now they know this. So what they're going to do is they're going to come up with some other BS next week to try to take what they really so richly want, which they know they can't have. So it's just going to eat them up. That's all it's going to do. That jealousy and that envy and that coveting is just going to tear them up inside and eat them alive. Okay? False. The United States of America is the national government and stands alone as a sovereign country. Now they're going to start using country again. See? They'll start doing that. Our sovereign country is what they're going to start with. It says States of America Confederation partners with the Federal Republic. That's so stupid because Confederation and Federal Republic are together. This never existed, States of America. The Confederation is a federal republic. You can't partner with it. You can't split it in two. Okay, this is what she likes to do. She likes to split these in two and separate them just to cause you confusion. Now, this whole part of this is gone and needs to be reconstructed. We've already done that. That's already done. She can't deal with that. Okay? False. The Federal Republic has already been rebuilt and reconstructed. There never was any entity called States of America under any form of confederation, period. We've proven that beyond a shadow of a doubt. But in the meantime, we can function just perfectly well as we did. This is typical. This is the typical grandma thing. Okay, I'm everybody's grandma. We can do this because everybody's all worried now because they believe this crap, right? Well, we can do this, and this is the takeaway. This is to take away all of your anxiety that she just created, and then just trust me, and then I'll get you through this. Don't worry about the thing. That's when she turns into everybody's grandma. It's a mind manipulation that's going on here. Don't need a grandma. All right. But in the meantime, we can function just perfectly well as we did from 1776 to 1781. Notice that. She stops right there. With all international and global powers being vested in the United States of America Federation. This is a complete right here, and this right here never existed. A federation is what you have now under the United States, not the United States of America. See how she did that? She messed you up. So, completely false. The United States of America functioned for 13 years and is currently repopulating the states of the Union, something that the Vatican private attorney is trying to stop. They want you to stop this, okay? They keep telling you, stop what you're doing. Now, this is their Declaration of Interdependence of 1776. This is the Democrats, okay? Along with the Pope and his attorney and private attorney here and everything else. This is what they're doing. The Interdependence Assemblies, their concluding consultation and convocation will provide the initial 1976 program agenda for the bicentennial era, paralleling the 13 years matching the period between 1776 and the final adoption of the U.S. Constitution 1789. Okay? So, the era paralleling the 13 years between 1776 and 1789. They're talking about the Articles of Confederation. They're talking about the Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation, and then it stopped. Okay? It remained in committee because when in the agreements, go read the Articles of Confederation. When the United States and Congress assembled, was not assembled. It was, and nothing was ever ceded over to the U.S. Okay, nothing was ever ceded over to them from the original Confederation, the Federal Republic. Nothing was conceded. Nothing was sent over to them. Nothing was seceded. Okay, no property, no powers, no nothing was ceded over to the U.S., the United States, nor its Constitution. Nothing was. Okay, all they were doing is operating in parallel, and we can prove that. I'm not going to go through it tonight, but we can prove that. And you start with the Treaty of Paris, of which the United States of America had nothing to do with. Nothing. Okay? Now, when it stopped in 1789, it went into committee and it stayed there according to the rules of the Articles of Confederation until we picked it back up in 2010 and started the timeline again. The other timeline was operating in parallel. It still existed, but it was operating in parallel. All right? Now, notice the dates are used above, 1776 to 1781. That's where the agent's lying, see? The Vatican private attorney is trying to avoid a liability for trespass on a valid country. And what that attorney's doing, private attorney is doing, is everything we do, they're stealing the credit for it. We're doing it, but they're stealing that credit saying they're doing it. It's the same thing that the communists do. The Democrats do it to the Republicans all the time. The communists do that to people. That's how they grab power. Everything that they're claiming that they did, we've done. We're doing all the work. Okay? The Vatican private attorney. Now, it says valid country on behalf of the Vatican private attorney principal, Pope Francis. The New World Order attacks keep coming, and the real country keeps knocking those attacks out of the park. Yahushua Jesus continues to protect this country, which means he's protecting this country against the Vatican and the private attorney for the Vatican. You're fighting Jesus, guys. That's all you're doing. You're fighting God himself, our Father in heaven. So keep fighting. You're going to lose. We're actually not, are we fighting, Tom? Not really. All we're doing is just showing the truth every single time. We're not fighting anybody.
We're not fighting anybody. We don't really care what she does. It's just that it's annoying.
Well, it gets old, but it does teach a lot of people. I use it to teach people is what I do. Because when you have the court, well, I won't get into that. The United States of America, over and over. Okay, we keep knocking them out of the park. Everything that comes up. So now you can see specifically everything that's being told to you is a lie from that camp over there. Everything. Doesn't matter what it is, they're lying about it. And what they do is they, in order to try to keep any type of legitimacy in the minds of the deceived, they steal what we're saying and what we're doing. If we come up with an idea, they steal it and say they did it, just so they can sell it. We hear it all the time. But you know what, folks? I'm going to tell you one thing. The people that matter know the truth. The people that actually can get something done know the truth. They know who picked up this and who did that and the whole thing. But ask yourself this. Why, when I do something, I have to prove it, but when the other side does something, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to prove a thing. You don't even question them. Why would you have blind faith in somebody that's clearly lying to you all the time? Why are you rewarding the liar and convicting the one that's literally trying to help you, even through the face of all your convictions and all your lying? Since we've been together, Tom, have you ever seen me break the law?
Nope.
And that's been, what, 7, 8 years?
Yeah, I'm coming up on my 7th year anniversary in October.
Okay. That's as Secretary of State, right?
No, that's 6 years.
Okay, 6 years.
I remember
All
I was
that
a
time,
judge first.
I've never seen Tom violate the law. I have never violated the law. So you would think in that 6 or 7 years, you would have caught me in a lie somewhere, right? As we're talking, I mean, just on as many times as we sat on committee and as many hours as we've been on committee.
Oh my God, there were so many.
You would think that if I was lying, you would have caught me sometime or somewhere.
Oh yeah, and I would have walked away a long time ago.
Right. So in all that time, have never lied, never broken the law, nothing, and have been punished for it the whole time. But still, folks, you're not going to get me to do that. Because see, I didn't need a lawyer to follow the law. I didn't need them hovering over me to follow the law. I'm talking about the law of nations. I'm talking about the 7 laws of Noah. I'm talking about all those laws. You never needed a whip to my back to get me to follow the law. And you know that burns them the most? I don't need a pope to get to our Father in heaven. And that's what burns them the most there. I don't need him. Anybody that needs a pope to get to our Father in heaven, I think you're kind of lying. I don't think you. I think you're just trying to skate to get through. I don't think you really mean it. But they always say every man wants to go, or everyone wants to go to heaven, just not today. So if that's the case, that's fine. I'm just going to proceed as if nothing happened. And I'm going to tell everybody here tonight, I'm praying for Anna. I am. Because there's the thing called blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, which means if you don't confess and repent for what you're doing, lying and all that, cheating and stealing and shit, which means there's stealing going on, yes. Lying, cheating, and stealing. That's what's going on. When you don't repent for that, that's called blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. It's unforgivable sin. Now, if she's really a so-called Christian, if she really believes in that, she'll know what I'm talking about. And she'll say, oh, crap. That means take all that crap down that you said about me that was untrue, that you had no proof of. You just made that shit up. And you know you did. But you're not going to do that because you don't really believe in it. And you've given yourself permission to do what you're doing. So that's fine. You can do that. And then you can try to disregard our existence, right, Tom? Isn't that what's going on? Our whole existence is being disregarded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our whole claim is being disregarded, as if you don't have any claim, but everybody else can come over and have a claim, but you don't. You don't. There. You don't mean anything. You don't matter. That's called abuse. That's called a child called it. That right there is from the mind of a private attorney. That's what happens. You matter, you don't. But luckily, Yahushua does exist. Jesus does exist, and luckily, none of any decisions that woman makes matters. There's only one decision, one making the decisions that matter. That's a good thing. And you got anything to add, Tom? Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and end the 192nd broadcast of the T-ROH Show.
I do not have anything to add. Thank you.
All right. So hopefully everybody heard something, and hopefully everybody learned something today. If there's any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Please hit like. And I don't get paid for it, but anyways, I always like to see them. You know, it always makes everything look good. And make sure you hit the Genoa Institute every once in a while. It's genoainstitute.com. Take a look at what's available over there for you if you want something. Other than that, I will see you guys next week.